The New York Giants have made 3 roster moves prior to their Week 3 game against the Cleveland Browns. We're going to break that down on today's show. But first, make sure you are following me on social media. I'm at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter and Instagram. And that is the first place that you would have found out the news about these roster moves. And I'm going to follow back the first 10 people that give me a follow. So if you want to follow back and you want to stay up to date on Big Blue, hit me up. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. And let's start this video off with Gano being added to injured reserve. As we know, Gano was added to the injury report going into that Week 2 game against the Washington Commanders with a groin injury. He then hurt that hamstring on the opening kickoff, chasing down the kick returner that took it to the house. Luckily, it was called back to a holding penalty. This is the third time Gano has been hurt in 2 seasons. Last year, he cost you a game against the Jets because he played. I'm going to blame that on Brian Daboll, though. He also missed a field goal against the Washington Commanders in 2023 when he was hurt. A viewer, Mr. Rick Cha, was at the game, and he told me, Marshall, Gano does not look right in pregame warmups. He ended up playing, missing a kick, ended up playing the next week. Then he missed 2 kicks, and he was hurt and pretty much cost you that game. And look, Gano at this point, he might just be cooked. It is what it is. You talk about the age, you talk about the injuries, they start to pile up. It's not good for the kickers, and it's definitely not good for the New York Giants when you talk about his contract, because he's going to be on this team for at least 2 more seasons. You look at his contract, he is going to be on the Giants for the 2025 season, because if you cut him, you save just $3 million, and you have a dead cap hit at 2.5. Maybe that's enough savings to move on from him, but I believe he'll be on the team in 2025 at 38 years old. And then in 2026, he's on the team unless you want to cut him and save 4.5. Look, he's going to be on this team for a while. Unfortunately, he is hurt. I'm just over the hurt kicker nonsense. We dealt with it last year. We're dealing with it again this year. Just give me a guy out there that's healthy. If he's healthy and misses kicks, awesome. But I don't want to have to miss kicks because of hurt kickers anymore. With Gano going to IR, the Giants did go out and sign a kicker. The 30-year-old, 7-year veteran, Greg Joseph. Joseph was on the Lions practice squad before signing a contract to join the Giants' active roster. And now he's going to be your go-to kicker, at least for the next 4 weeks. That's how many games Gano will have to miss due to him going on IR. He spent the last 3 seasons with the Minnesota Vikings, and he is 16 of 28 in his career on attempts of over 50 yards with a long of 61 yards. That long 61-yard kick, it still hurts. It was the game winner that Joseph had against the New York Giants back in the 2022 season. I don't remember if it was Christmas Day or Christmas Eve that they ended up hitting that walk-off kick. But the Giants, they did get their lick back by beating the Vikings in the playoffs that year. He also holds the NFL record for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 game-winning kicks in a single season. He also led the National Football League in touchback percentage on kickoffs in 2021. He's got a strong leg. He's been able to knock in some big-time kicks as time expires. All I ask is be healthy. And if you're not healthy, don't play. If you're hurt, let the coaching staff know the Giants cannot afford to lose any more football games because of a hurt kicker. I talked to Patrick Seaman, host of the Vikings channel, former producer of this channel, and he told me that Greg Joseph is awesome from 40 yards in. It's once you get past that 40-yard mark, he gets a little bit shaky and can be 50-50 on those kicks. Look, just make the ones from 40 yards, and then if you're healthy enough to kick the deep ones, hopefully you can make those as well. Excited the Giants got a healthy kicker, but man, I'm just tired of talking about kickers and their injuries. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though. This is where you will find out about Giants news before any other people in the world. We are the fastest place on YouTube that will get you the Giants content you need. And we're in a subscriber battle with the Cleveland Browns Report, hosted by my good friend Matthew Peterson, former producer of this channel. And we want to beat them in Week 3 on the football field to get our first win, and we want to beat them in subscribers picked up. So if you love the Giants and you want to beat the Browns, hit that sub button, and let's go Big Blue. Coming up next, the Giants have claimed an Philadelphia Eagles inside linebacker, outside linebacker, edge rusher. Everyone's telling me he's an inside linebacker. I'll give you a little secret. He's not. That's why you watch this show, and we're going to tell you what he actually does on the football field. That's in a second, but first, I got to give a major shout-out to today's sponsor, GameTime. If you're looking for last-minute tickets to go watch the Giants definitely do it with the promo code ChatSports so you save yourself $20 off. Or if you want to go to a concert, a theater event, an NBA game, an MLB game, you get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed with GameTime. Prices drop as the events get closer. And make sure you take advantage of these two features. GameTime Picks. It's brand new. It makes going to see your favorite teams play that much easier. It pretty much personalizes your feed. That way the people and teams you want to go see perform are very easy to go do so. And the all-in pricing feature, the price you see is the price that you pay. Nobody likes a ticketing app that hits you with hidden fees when you get to checkout. GameTime, they do not do that. Also, other awesome features. You get to see your seat view from inside the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone, and you get easy options to resell your tickets as well. So download the GameTime app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. What time is it? It's game time. Be a real one. Support the show. Support the sponsor. All right, the New York Giants have claimed veteran. I guess you could say veteran if he was selected in the 2021 NFL Draft. He's been in the league for 4 years at this point. The 2021 7th-round pick out of Tulane, Patrick Johnson, has been claimed by the New York Giants after he was waived by the Philadelphia Eagles so they could create room for Mr. Nick Gates. What comes around surely does go around. I actually talked to my guy Chase Sr., who hosts the Philadelphia Eagles channel here at Chat Sports, and he told me some things he noticed was that the Giants' assistant general manager, Brandon Brown, was actually in the Eagles scouting department in 2017 to 2021, so he probably had some say-so in Johnson being selected. He was also, Johnson, third in special teams tackles last year for the Eagles, where that Eagles special teams unit ranked number 1 in DVOA. Also, last year, Johnson showed some pass rushing juice in preseason. And that's where I kind of saw the disconnect between Giants publications and Giants fans and content creators and beat reporters saying that the Giants went out and signed an inside linebacker. All it took was for you to go to PFF.com and look up where he lines up on snaps. 310 times on the defensive line, 35 times in the box. He is not an inside linebacker. He is an edge rusher. He's also a contributor in special teams. This is where he has had the most snaps in his career, over 800 snaps in special teams, 229 on kick return, 238 on kick coverage, 155 on punt return, 157 on punt coverage, and 109 on field goal block. So you're getting a guy that's going to contribute on special teams and maybe give you a little bit more juice off the edge. The Giants' edge rushers have not got home nearly as much as I would have liked in the first 2 weeks, but I did see some encouraging things from Burns, and I did think Thibodeau had some really solid reps against the Commanders. Boogie Basham has been a healthy scratch every single game this year. It's only 2, but both games this year. Ojulari had a nice play against the Commanders, but I don't expect much from Benton Whitley. I do think Johnson will play this week, and he'll give you some juice off the edge. A lot of people have said he's an inside linebacker. We will not call him an inside linebacker on the show because he's played less than 50 snaps in his career inside the box. You are really thin an inside linebacker, though. You got Okereke, you got McFadden, you got Musau. Musau didn't even play last week because he was injured. And you got Curtis Bolton, as well as Ty Summers, who were on the practice squad. And I think the Giants will continue to elevate those players every week until they have reached their capacity. And then maybe they got to add them to the active roster. My biggest disappointment so far for the Giants this year has been the defense. Look, you got a lot of talent there in Burns, Lawrence, Thibodeau, Okereke, Banks, Pinnock, Newbin. But at the end of the day, man, like, you got to go out and produce. It doesn't matter what the names are, what the faces are, who the guys you have, and how much you pay them. If they don't produce, you're going to be in trouble. And they have not produced at all this year. The Giants, in pretty much every key statistical category on defense, rank at the bottom half of the league, and that's putting it kindly. They're more so in the bottom 5 of the league in all the big categories, like points allowed, and total yards allowed, and rushing yards allowed, and yards per play allowed. And they can't get off the field on third down. They allow teams to pick up first downs on almost 60% of their third downs. Luckily for the Giants, the Cleveland Browns, they have the second worst third down pickup percentage for their offense in the NFL. So something is going to have to give. We're only 2 weeks in, but man, it has not been a good showing for new defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. I know that he had a lot of hype coming from Tennessee. I was always a little bit weary because he really wasn't the play caller in Tennessee. That was Mike Vrabel, and he had a lot of other coaches on that staff that had a lot of influence on that defense. I also hate the ideology of a defense playing bend but don't break football because it never works. Ever, ever, ever. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't care how many field goals you get. If you give up 7 field goals, you're never going to win a game because you allowed the team to drive down into scoring territory 7 times. You will never, ever win a game like that. Hopefully, the Giants this week get off the field on 3rd down, considering Deshaun Watson is the quarterback of the 2nd worst 3rd down offense in the NFL. What's your confidence level, though, in Shane Bowen? It's only been 2 games. I feel like I've got to give him a little bit more of the runway. But, man, it has been ugly so far. The Commanders crushed you. The Vikings crushed you. What's your confidence? 1 to 10. Let me know in the chat. And if you haven't yet, please give me a follow on social media. The first 10 people that follow me on IG and follow me on Twitter, I'm giving a follow back. My link to social media sites are in the comments and description. Hit me up over there. Back with another video in about 4 hours. Let's go Big Blue.